mentioned Friendship Home and families being able to put their loved ones somewhere while they're away or something comes up. But what would happen? What happens? Is there a way that mom and dad or whoever, grandparents, could set up some type of a trust to help with that child as they go into adulthood and the parents and grandparents pass on?
What an amazing question. So that's a great question for our estate planning team. Ben, Brianna, Jenny, Bridget, all of them doing amazing things for folks. I think what you're referring to is a special needs trust. So what is a special need? So obviously, there's special needs with cognitive disabilities that we think of mostly, but there's also substance abuse disorders, right? So if you know that your child is struggling with opioid, is there a way to plan ahead, be proactive, right? So somebody else isn't being reactive, right? Because you're going to be gone, and somebody else may have to react to a lump sum amount of funds going to a child with opioid disorder or substance abuse disorder. I know, Dr. Joe, you don't like disorder, but the listeners know exactly what I'm talking about. And when you establish a well-funded special needs trust for a disabled child in Massachusetts, it's an important part of providing that lifetime safety, security, and quality of life after you're gone. And the important piece of it is, again, public-private partnerships. We can't do it alone. It is very expensive to care for children with special needs, adult children with special needs. A lot of the funding stops at certain ages, which is why the Friendship Home is such an amazing place. But you can prohibit the funding of the state if you do your planning incorrectly. So again, estate planning is so very important so that you don't make a mistake in the future, right? Special needs trusts can be used to pay for just about anything that benefits the beneficiary, that person, such as home and vehicle maintenance, vacations, computers, and other electronic equipment, education expenses, monthly phone, cable, and internet services. But you have to be very careful on what you're spending it on. So a trusted person, the trustee, or a trust protector who is looking over the trust can determine what expenditures they can receive, right? So the trust holds back. It's not going to give a lump sum check to that individual, because then they would violate certain benefits that they may have, entitlements that the state would have to grant to them. So that public-private partnership stays together, and a special needs trust is a really, really important planning strategy to be proactive in that situation.
Sounds a little complicated.
It can be, and that's why Ben and I have our open discussions on Tuesdays at the office from 5:30 to 6:30 for anyone who comes and wants to simply ask a question. Obviously, Ben and his team do consultations, no commitment consultations for an hour, but if you wanted to come to one of our open dialogues, shell question machine, go to Eventbrite. It's an app, it's a website, it's where the folks at Levitate use for their ticketing. It's a ticketing website, Eventbrite, and if you search Stiles or estates or estate plans, estate planning in Marshfield, Stiles Law, you'll find it. And we're there every Tuesday. Grab a ticket, reserve a seat. We limit it so that it can be a really informal conversation with Ben and I. And ask those questions, no commitment.
Find out about trusts and all that sort of stuff.
All of it.
Make sure that you've got everything planned out going forward.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if we can help you, we'll help you.
Great. I mean, that's what that's why you're there.
That's our number one core value: help people.
You're Mark Stiles with us here in the WATD. Mark, have a great weekend.
You too, buddy. And if you don't want to search the interweb for Eventbrite, you can always call us at 781-319-1900, 781-319-1900. And I encourage folks to go on the YouTube channel where these Feel Good Fridays are hosted, as well as a bunch of other videos, FAQs, as they say, frequently asked questions. So get the knowledge that you need and call us if you need more.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Larry. Have a great week.
You too.